Hi, I'm 1,000 days sober. Or like 1,003 by now. I'm 1,003 days sober. Yay, 1,003 days sober. Woo! There's a bee following me. I'm gonna go inside. No hate to the bee, but I can't hear myself think when it's buzzing in my ear. Actually, the real reason is my back hurts and I want to sit down. But let's blame the bee. Hey guys, look what I found. It's Cheese's ashes. Yes, I still miss him all the time. I miss my fish dearly. What a way to start a video. Hi guys, how you doing? This is just a little quick update video, I guess. I took a little bit of a pause on focusing on trying to get my schedule somewhat together for uploading YouTube videos. I could not do it at the same time as the stuff I'm doing right now with my medicine regimen. I had to pick either keep working on videos or work on my medicine regimen because I am trying to get off Suboxone. I don't know how much I've talked about certain aspects of my recovery on here. I know I've shared bits and pieces of it everywhere and that altogether it's the whole story. So I do apologize if I repeat some things that you already have heard in other videos. I just can't keep up with, at this point, what was said in videos and then what was said on like a throwaway Instagram story or something like that. But the gist of it is, since I began dealing with heroin addiction, which the first time I used was late 2018. Basically since then, anytime that I was not using heroin, I was on Suboxone. Suboxone is medically assisted treatment to help people in recovery. It's most often seen in early recovery, but there's plenty of people that are on it long term too. Suboxone is a combination of two drugs called buprenorphine and naloxone. The buprenorphine helps with opiate addicts because it's an opiate agonist. It's not an opiate per se, but it has components of an opiate. So it can go and sit on your opiate receptors and basically help control the cravings and the urges to use. Naloxone, on the other hand, is the same thing that you would find in like Narcan, which is what they give to addicts when they are overdosing. It basically sits in my brain and blocks opiate use. So if I were to try to relapse, the naloxone would be there to stop it, which doesn't make the drug use safe, but I would not feel the effects of it. So there would be no mental reward for trying to use when it's in your system. So the combination of those two things, my cat just jumped off the cat tree. The combination of those two things helps prevent addicts from relapsing, and it's super, super helpful in early recovery when you normally deal with all those initial cravings and the post-acute withdrawals and just adjusting back to life when you're just off an opiate. It could also be used long-term to help with the cravings and to kind of be a safety net where you don't feel as at risk of relapsing because if I'd want to relapse, I would have to plan it out several hours ahead of time. I would have to wait. The half-life of Suboxone is like 48 hours, but like technically speaking, after like 12 hours, you can maybe start to get a high from an opiate if you were really determined, depending on the dosage of your Suboxone, if it's low enough. But either way, it makes you wait, which takes that impulsivity away from you with relapsing. Like you can't just decide in a panic, I can't do this, I'm gonna go use. You actually have to wait it out, and normally if you were wanting to relapse, by the time you wait it out, you can collect yourself again and not make that choice. It's been super helpful for me, and while I don't see it necessarily as a bad thing in general, like if you could just get on with your life and be on Suboxone and it makes you feel safe and it makes you feel like you're not at risk of relapsing and your day-to-day life is otherwise not affected, I really don't see the problem with being on it. But for me personally, I have a lot of negative side effects from it physically and somewhat mentally too. And I'm just at a point now where I'm trying to work on my identity and work on regaining my freedoms and feeling like I have my own personal autonomy back. I don't want to be on a medicine anymore that's affecting me negatively, physically and mentally. So all of that to say, I'm working on getting off of it. So far, I think I started on like 32 milligrams. I am down to 3 milligrams now. Every time I've gone down so far, it has been rough on me physically. There are some physical withdrawals, but that's about it. I haven't had any negative impacts mentally yet from slowly decreasing my dose, very slowly. Now though, when I got got down to 4 milligrams and I tried to get to 2, that was the first time that there was a very noticeable impact on me mentally. And because of that, I just kept being unable to get down to 2 milligrams. Every time I tried, I'd have a very noticeable impact on me mentally, and I would basically just tap out after so many days, being like, I need to get back to my life, I need to do things, I need to work, I need to do whatever. I can't just sit around and rot, so I'm just gonna go back to 4. And that cycle is just continued for like 7 or 8 months now. It's getting to a point where I just really want to commit to getting my dosage down. Right now we're trying a different method with my doctor who prescribes me my Suboxone. I have the 2 milligram tablets now. Don't know if it's focused, but I have the 2 milligram sublingual films now. And instead of taking 1 and being on 2 milligrams, I'm taking 1.5. So I'm on 3. So the shift from 4 milligrams to 3 milligrams is a little more gradual than 4 to 2. And we're trying that, but there still has been an impact on me, not as intense as 4 to 2, but still enough to where I've had to kind of step back and allow myself to kind of rest more and just get through the day. That's just kind of been my main focus these last like 2 weeks, but I'm finally kind of balancing out now and adjusting. So I feel ready to return to working. But I just wanted to make a quick video explaining where I'm at. In addition to that, and some good news, some positive news. It's not that getting off Suboxone is bad news, it's just more stressful. But in genuinely just positive news, I have hit 1,000 days sober, which is crazy. That's a big number. And it's really been causing me to reflect a lot on my whole journey to get here. I got to a point where I didn't think this was gonna be possible and that my life was ultimately over. It's really crazy to look back on that journey and how many times I tried to get my life back and find myself again, and how many times I was met with the startling reality that it felt like there was nothing to come back to when I got sober. Like I didn't just become myself again. It took years. I mean, I'm 2 years sober now, but in addition to these last 2 years, all of the increments of me being sober in between my relapses in the past, it all accumulated together to get to where I am today. And it took so long. Like, everyone recovers at a different rate, but it genuinely took me over a year of just waking up every day and existing. It took me a year to just start sort of behaving like how a human should. And then after that, I had to start trying to find myself again, and it was just so much more work than I could have ever imagined. But with all that being said, it's just crazy to look back on 1,000 days now and how much things have changed and how far, like, I'm excited. It's scary getting off Suboxone, but I'm excited because it's still another step to taking back my life into my own hands. And that's exciting to think that it could still get better than this, because yeah, things are good now, but there's still a lot of things that I need to work on and I need to open myself up to. I still feel emotionally distant a lot of the time. I'm way better than I was before, but as I get off of this, since it is basically a synthetic opiate, there's still a whole nother level, I think, of getting connected to the world that I'm gonna be able to do again once I get off of it. And again, in my opinion, there is no shame whatsoever in staying on it for as long as you need. Stay on it forever, honestly. I think it is extremely, extremely helpful, and it keeps people sober and it keeps people able to live a normal life in the aftermath of addiction. I'm just getting off of it because of my own body and my own needs. Basically, its usefulness no longer exceeds the side effects that I get from it. I'm ready to take the next step and get off of it. So I'm at 3 milligrams now, and that basically means that after this I'll go to 2, and then it is really up to me how low I want to go before I get off of it completely. I believe the lowest dose is 0.5. If I want to keep going down, I can get all the way down to 0.5, I believe, before getting off of it. When I was in rehab, they tried to get me off of it at 2 milligrams. And like I've already mentioned, every time that I have been sober since I began dealing with addiction, I've been on Suboxone, except for one single day. One day in rehab, they got me off of it completely, and I genuinely had a psychotic break. I was asking to be transported to a mental hospital. Like, the rehab wasn't enough. I was losing my mind. There was way too much to deal with emotionally that kind of all fell on me at once, and my brain just broke. It was also probably the worst day out of all days that they could have taken me off Suboxone for what was going on in my personal life, but we won't get into that. It was just a bad idea. It was not the right time. The point being, it is safe to get off of it at 2 milligrams if you feel ready, but I probably will go a little lower. So I'm not going to be off of it like within a month or 2 or anything like that. It's still going to be a while, but I'm making progress, and I just thought I'd update y'all on why every once in a while for these next few months I might have to take a week or 2 off. Yeah, this whole experience has just been crazy. While I'm sure there'll be many videos in the future that reference my recovery, I probably will do at least one more where I kind of go over the whole timeline just to kind of reflect on everything, just so I could talk about anything that I may have not mentioned before that I feel like I want to share. Anyway, that's it right now. Thank you guys for being subscribed all this time. Thank you to new subscribers and viewers. Thank you for following me on this journey. And yeah. We'll get back to animal stuff going forward. Oh, hi Nemo. You want to say hi? No, you don't. You don't want to say hi. He's my best friend ever, but he hates being involuntarily held, so I'll respect his space. Okay, bye.